Well, I am of Indian origin. Years old, on my birthday, we came over to Holland because it was a Dutch colony. That was 1988 when I was barely 18. My father had a small restaurant, and due to some financial construction, I took over the company. And then in a year, I started my own company without my father's help, without anyone's help. We decided then to go full on with fiber to the home. At that time, fiber to the home had zero connections anywhere. And we pioneered that also. So what we're doing is the better solution. And what you are doing, what the industry has been doing so far in terms of launch and transportation, is going to be obsolete in this world. Can deliver more than 4 or 5 people to LEO. We will do up to 350 people. Critical design review. We are publishing it for the public. We just published 2-3 weeks ago of our space stations.
Today we are having this is our first episode, and for the first episode we are having Neal sir, Neal S. Lachman, who is the CEO of Titan Space Industry, which is having a very interesting mission, which is just going to be happening in 2029. And in today's video, we are just going to talk about everything about the Titan's missions, about Titan's vision, and how they are just going to do that. And first, I'll start with a very interesting question, which I always wanted to know about your journey, sir. I would like to know about your journey. Please tell me, sir, like how did you just being related with the India as well, and you are now here in USA. So I would like to know about those things first.
Uh, well, first of all, thank you, Jitendra, for inviting me on your podcast. I wish you a lot of luck with it. You are a very knowledgeable person, so I'm sure you will be very successful with this podcast. And it's an honor. I think your first guest.
Yeah, you are the first case, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, so Jitendra, personally, my journey started. Well, I am of Indian origin, so my great grandparents were immigrant workers from India 100-something years ago to South America, to a Dutch colony, which was back then called Dutch Guyana, and it's now called Suriname. It's above Brazil in South America, on the northern on the northern border. And I was born there 55 years ago.
Okay.
So my great grandparents came to Suriname to replace the then freed enslaved people. So from one colony to another colony. And in 1975, when I was 5 years old, on my birthday, we came over to Holland because it was a Dutch colony. So anyway, long story short, I'm an immigrant child to immigrant workers.
Okay.
And now, yes, I've ended up in Florida in the United States. I'm not intending to live in Florida, at least not full time. But that's my story, personal story. My professional journey started when I was 8. That was 1988 when I was barely 18. My father had a small restaurant, and due to some financial construction, I took over the company. And then in a year, I started my own company without my father's help, without anyone's help. I borrowed money from some relations. And yeah, that was a small restaurant business. Anyway, that is boring because that is also 37 years ago. But in 1992, I picked up the phone and I asked Pan Am Sat. At that time, Pan Am Sat was very powerful. It doesn't exist anymore. This is 33 years ago, of course. So I started with the question, hey, I want to set up a cable TV network. This is when I was 22, so I was quite ambitious back then. And
From the basically starting only, you were just doing having the business minded, like you're just trying to do the business.
so that runs in my family.
Okay.
We have this business tweak in our minds. We always think in entrepreneur terms. But yeah, so this was 2022, 1992, sorry. And so because cable is very limited, right? It's physical infrastructure.
Yeah.
Anyway, with satellite, you can broadcast to everyone.
Yeah,
and the idea was there are Indians everywhere in the world, right?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
So you have to have satellite. So anyway, long story short, in 3 years after, thanks to help from Pan Am Sat and others, we received 3 global satellite broadcast, digital satellite broadcast licenses from the Dutch government. And yeah, that started our journey in hardware and in satellite and in rocketry and everything. So I have a very long background in space entrepreneurship, so to say.
So from the cable, like you just launched your own satellite, like
No,
after
no,
getting
so
it
so
was
no, you don't so that was the whole thing. You cannot
okay.
launch your own satellites
Okay.
because those were in the hands of the mighty corporations. So at that time, for example, Pan Am Sat. Now, anyway, long story short, in 2000, after many years of engineering, preparation, investments, in 2000, no, December 1999, we launched on Eutelsat a pilot of a multi-hundred megabit download. And that was the first of its kind.
Like,
And that was for a company called Internet Hypergate, where we were going to serve millions of people with satellite broadband. Now, of course, as you know, 2 things happened. One is engineering-wise, it was a problem to serve a substantial number of people simultaneously with satellite service. That was one problem. And second is that we hit the internet and telecom crash. So we saw it happening on live TV when we were in St. Petersburg. My younger brother Neal and I, we were in at the GE Americom Satellite Broadband Forum. We were VIP guests, and GE was then the owner of all those satellites in 2000. And we saw the market crash while we were having lunch at the St. Vinoy Renaissance Hotel in St. Petersburg at the GE Satellite Broadband Forum. And that was, of course, for us also. We lost a lot of money. We lost a lot of contacts who also lost their money. And it was just a disaster. Anyway, long story short there, we decided then to go full on with fiber to the home. At that time, fiber to the home had 0 connections anywhere. And we pioneered that also. So, yeah, we took a lot of risks. We pioneered a lot of things. I myself called a lot of technologies ahead of that time. I launched a lot of ideas that I like, let's say, crowdsourced and outsourced. Then um, uh, a lot of concepts that you know today. I think I was, if not the pioneer, then the evangelist of it. Uh, Wi-Fi. You are using Wi-Fi. I'm using Wi-Fi right now. Um, 25 years ago, nobody was using Wi-Fi, and we called the right technology uh, uh, developments. Yeah, so I have a hardcore technology background, a lot related with telecom, uh, but yeah, so I am the original satellite broadband daddy.
Yeah, like it just looking like you have been done lots of things. But I would like to do one more thing. Like everything was just going in a very different criteria. Like satellite thing, telecom thing, it's a very different thing. And suddenly this is space industry. How these two things related to, sir? Like when you just thought to start any space industry.
Well, satellites are in
Yeah,
space.
yeah, from the
That's why.
Titan space. Yeah,
So satellites are the most important part of the space industry.
definitely.
Elon Musk rules the satellite broadband market now,
Starlink.
and he's going to get more and more competition, which is also troublesome because of the chances of space debris. But anyway, that's another story. Um, but yeah, satellites are, of course, the preeminent technology used in space at the moment. So, of course, it's space related. So, nobody can take away from me that I've been a space entrepreneur since 1992, right? Uh, that is different, of course, from launching spacecraft and space um, vehicles yourself. But um, as an evolution, that's quite an, let's say, obvious trajectory.
Okay.
So it is only normal that I went on with space industry.
Yeah, I think everything is connected only because if you were doing the satellite thing in 2000, so space industry is also related to that only. But when you just thought to start any
Uh,
uh, commercial space flight things, sending
well,
astronauts
yeah,
and things.
uh, that's a good one. Yes, um, that was 5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
So um, I've invested a lot of time, money, and effort, and my young and beautiful years in telecom. And I was just so tired of this community. They don't want to give you credits. They want to compete with you on being the pioneers, which I don't give a shit about, excuse my French. And it's so toxic. And a lot of people hated my guts because I was taking away the bread from their children's mouths. Because I was saying, what you're doing is going to be obsolete. What we're doing and what we are at is the future. Well, you won't make friends with that. So, in the telecom industry, for example, people who were invested in anything that was not fiber to the home and or wireless technology as we were evangelizing, of course they were our competition. They were they weren't going to benefit from our success. So of course they don't want you to be successful, because then how the hell will they, you know, send their kids to college when they are jobless and penniless? And that was not our intention, but that was an uh, um, obvious result of our technological pioneering developments. So the same now, which I which I really didn't expect, is in the aerospace industry. Because now we're saying what we're doing is the future. What we're doing is the better solution. And what you are doing, what the industry has been doing so far in terms of launch and transportation, is going to be obsolete. And of course, I didn't make friends there either. And I didn't realize that. So I should have learned from my previous experience that it is going to be a hell of a journey with a lot of haters, with a lot of haters who then spread doubts. And then you get this group who doubt you. Don't hate you necessarily, but doubt you. So you have then the haters, the doubters, and then those who say, okay, we'll see. So you don't get too much support in this industry. Now, why is that? And of course, I cannot blame them. I cannot blame my previous haters. I cannot blame my current haters and doubters. But the thing is, and here we go into the current stage of our developments, we are saying the only way to go to space right now is with a vertical launch rocket.
Listen.
So everything that we're doing right now is based on that technology and its abilities. So 50 plus years ago, we went to the moon multiple times.
Yeah.
And we even drove an electric vehicle on the lunar surface 50 years ago. So there's nothing new about that.
Exactly.
But if you want to create a multi-trillion-dollar cis-lunar industry, you cannot do that with rockets. It's simply impossible. Now, there's one guy, you may have heard about him, Elon Musk,
Yeah.
who said, of course, you know, that was a joke. Elon Musk is right in his thought that, hey, you know what? I need a bigger rocket because I need to put more people per flight into space onto a journey.
Yes.
And I want more payload per flight. That's why he is developing Starship. Now, I am predicting you, Starship will not work for its intended purposes, especially not for human flight. But he has the right mindset. He has the wrong vehicle. Starship is still a ballistic missile. They add some maneuverability now and so on, but it's still a ballistic missile. And a ballistic missile is based on 11th century Chinese technology. Maybe the Indians will say, yeah, well, it was also, but basically it's so old technology. They didn't revolutionize another transportation vehicle. Rockets today, even Starship, is an evolution of a very old technology. Today's improvements are based on the technology that was available 80 plus years ago, and especially since the last 25 years. And then, of course, with the reusability since the last 10 or something years. But it's still very limited in its capabilities. You cannot create a multi-trillion-dollar cis-lunar industry with rockets. You can. It's impossible. So all those wishful thinkers, of course, hate my guts now because we are saying we have the solution. Instead of vertical launch rockets, we're gonna do a horizontal launch with a space plane.
Like the space shuttles,
Sorry?
uh, like how we are just going, like the Virgin Galactic or anything else like that. Like when we're just going to launch.
So Virgin Galactic is on the right track, but they have so many limitations. They cannot launch frequently, and they cannot have payload to orbit because it's suborbital, and they cannot have many people per flight. And
Yeah, definitely.
again, it's suborbital, so it's not comparable at all. Okay. This is orbital. So the space plane that we're developing, I am in Orlando right now at the planning office downtown, and we are developing our own propulsion factory, our first of many factories here in this region. That's why I'm in Orlando. So the space plane that we're developing is based on concepts that have been under development since 50 years. So the people who developed the Rockwell Star Raker, no, let me rephrase. The people who built the NASA space shuttle space planes, the orbiters, Rockwell International, came up with a concept called Star Raker. So among other space plane technologies, Star Raker is one of our stars that we rely on with the basic concept. So it's not our concept, it's based on other space planes, including a Rockwell Star Raker, where they said, you know what, you can haul 100,000 kilos, 100 metric tons per flight to Leo with this space plane. Anyway, 40 years later, 40 plus years later, I took it out of the freezer, and we have now a full critical design review where we include the latest technologies, the latest engineering, the latest materials. So we have 40 plus years of advancements where we can make use of them in our spaceplane design. So this is the future. The minute we become operational, with our space plane, we can do in 1 month what the entire global rocket launch industry can do in a year or longer. So it's an order of magnitude more efficient, and also an order of magnitude more cheaper. So this is not an evolution. It's a complete different paradigm. It's a revolution. A space plane approach is a complete revolution apart from the rocket evolution.
Okay, sir, I would like to add one question by myself only. So as we say, like currently the Elon Musk rocket, if I'll consider the Falcon or if I'll consider the any other of his rocket, Starship and all, these are being way more better in terms of like payload capacity as well as, and it is going to be a little bit more affordable as compared to the other space agencies that are like launch vehicle. So how, like as you said, like a space plane is going to be way more better as compared to the vertical launch vehicles one. But how? Like How just going to be way more better? In which terms?
First of all, there's no rocket in this world that has 100 metric ton payload capacity. That's why Elon Musk is developing Starship.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no ultra heavy lift rocket. What's there called on Blue Origin is planning an advanced rocket that may be able to do 50 to 70 metric ton.
Yeah.
But it's still 40% less than what we can do. So that's one. Second, no rocket in this world can deliver more than 4 or 5 people to Leo. We will do up to 350 people to Leo. And if we don't include the space pods in the space plane, then we, for example, for military personnel, suborbital, we can do 1,000 people. So it's not in the same ballpark even. So that's two main issues. The third is, did you ever see how a Starship launches?
Yeah. Yes.
I am sure you saw.
Yeah.
Did you see how violent it is?
Yeah, it is little bit. Yes.
So multiply that by 2 times a week, or as they want, once a day, if not 10 of them a day. You know how crazy that is?
Yeah.
So a lot of people are amazed by the awesomeness of rocket launches, which is, of course, I am awed by it too. It's beautiful, it's powerful, it's awesome. But it doesn't have a place in the future of space transportation and space launches. Why should it? If we have a better solution, which is more efficient, easier turnaround, and capable of daily launch even with an horizontal launch capability. So you will put your children on an airplane ride, right?
Yeah.
You will not put your children on a Starship.
Yeah.
This is the difference.
If this concept is really going to be happen, so yeah, everyone just going to
Why
prefer
do you
that.
say if? Why do you say if? I'm working on it, so
Yeah.
we
So
say when.
definitely just going to be happen. So yeah, it's really amazing concept.
So yeah,
As you just
go on, please.
as you just mentioned the number, sir, like it's just going to have around 1,000 people. It could be have for the suborbital. It's really huge number. So yeah, can you know the like time period, sir? Like until when? Like until
So
which year?
you
The
mentioned 2029. That's what we have agreed to with the team, including our astronaut candidates. But we, the entire team, including the Afghans, we decided recently to postpone and put the date for our first flight to June 2030. So 4.5 years from now.
okay.
I'm still confident that we can reach 2029 as our target date, but it was always a tentative date. And right now we have said instead of 2029 March, we'll push it back to June 2030. So you said about 1,000 people is a huge number. Yes, of course, but that's what makes this special. So let's go back to the geniuses who built the NASA Space Shuttle orbiters, Rockwell International. A few things. They said 40 plus years ago in their report and concept study to NASA and the US government that we can build this with today's technologies. And they said that 40 plus years ago. That's one thing. So you and I don't know better than these geniuses at Rockwell, right? Anyone who has some pushback against me has to then disqualify their findings. And who the fuck are they, excuse my French, to say that? What are their qualifications? They are clowns. They don't know a bit about space planes. There are clowns who are just clowning by and spreading doubts and having some shitty opinion. But they are not the geniuses who came up with this concept. And Rockwell was just one of them. Boeing was working on it. Other primes from those times were working on non-rocket, non-vertical launch rocket technology. So who are you? Who are these people who are doubting that this cannot be built? As a matter of fact, we have 40 years, maybe 50 plus years of advancements in technology, engineering, and materials, and so on. We have AI now. We have computational fluid dynamics now, right? So Titan Space Industries can and will do this. That's one thing. Then comes the issue. This is the time to do it.
Yeah.
This is the growth era of space industries. So when you are talking about, for example, now data centers in orbit, that was not even a thing 1.5 years ago when I wrote a white paper on it, right? So people are now talking about space solar power systems. That's exactly why the people were developing the Star Raker, the space plane, exactly for that particular objective. So then they canceled it, and then the world stopped going to the moon. They stopped having major ambitions, let alone talking about Mars, let alone talking about hundreds of tons per flight to orbit, let alone talking about multi-hundred people going to orbit in one flight. So it's now only the time. And I did it at the right time with the right technology. Now, this was 5 years ago. So in 4.5 years from now, we have been worked almost a decade on something that has been worked on already 40 plus years ago for a decade. So this is what is so powerful about our approach. We're not reinventing the wheel. We are not trying to do something from scratch. We're not inventing the rocket engine. We are going to build our own rocket engines here in Florida, Central Florida, but that's based on proven technology, right? So this is why when people say if, okay, you can say if, but I don't say if, I say when. It's a matter of time. So, and of course, the space plane is the most important, but it's just one part of our multi-vehicle solution. Now, before you ask me your next question, let me explain one thing. Very simple. Rocket technology goes to space with a huge power. They consume almost 80% of the fuel that they carry in the attempt to escape Earth's thick gravity.
Yes, sir.
Then there are stages. So in order to go to the moon, Saturn V had stages.
Yeah.
We are emulating that process, but not with stages, but with vehicles. So there are multiple vehicles that have their role in the cis-lunar transportation infrastructure. So instead of stages, we have vehicles, including
Okay.
an amazing spaceship that we are hopefully by tomorrow Christmas, 25th of December, we're going to publish our CDR, Critical Design Review of the spaceship. That is going to change the whole paradigm in the aerospace and space industry, because we are showing in that 150-page document how from LEO, low Earth orbit, we transport back and forth cargo and people with a fleet of spaceships. That is large scale, Jitendra, and we are going to publish that soon.
I'm just going to refer that because it's sounding so good. I think whenever it is going to publish, sir, I would definitely just consider it. It's really nice. But if this technology is just going to be used in that, so yeah, this is going to be very, I would say, better for not for only the commercial space flight. It's just going to be helpful for the space missions as well. So these
Exactly. So NASA has an RFP out since years. They call it Moon to Mars. So they want to know companies that are planning for the transportation of people and cargo, how to get to the moon, and then use that same kind of technology to go to Mars later. And we are saying, this is it. This is the infrastructure that you need. So now with the new administrator, Jared Isaacman, we hope that he will listen. We are hiring lobbyists in the new year. And we can convince anyone who's wants to listen that our approach is the most efficient and lowest cost and the most frequent and safest infrastructure. There's no other solution to this. If it were, I would be working on it. If a bigger rocket than Starship from Elon Musk's SpaceX would be the solution, man, I would be working on it. We are crazy enough to do that, but it's not. There is no superior solution to space transportation infrastructure than that what we are working at Titan Space. Otherwise, we would be working on it. It's as simple as that.
Uh, sir, I would like to know one more thing. You just mentioned about the space plane. So does like it will be just going to be like a reusable thing? Like it will be able to land properly without any things, or its stages just going to be not
So
reusable
good
thing?
question. No, the space plane is a single stage to orbit,
Okay.
horizontal launch. It does its work then, orbits Earth, uh, depending on the mission trajectory, or goes to the space station, our own space station in LEO, not beyond, in LEO, and then returns like the space shuttle did. Well, the space shuttle orbiters,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So it will land horizontally also. So it goes, launches horizontally, well, like this.
Yeah, I'm
and it
landing the same way.
lands,
Landing also
and
the
it
same way.
lands horizontally.
Okay, it's really nice. Sir, so we'll go for the next question. And that is basically about the 2029 mission only. Basically, like what is the Basically, this analog astronaut mission thing and all, like the 2029 mission, that I would really like to know in detail by you.
So, two things.
Yeah.
The mission, as I just said, including that one, especially that one, because that will be our first mission with our astronaut candidates and what we call inaugural astronauts. Um, we pushed that back to June 2030, so no longer 29. It's still in my heart. I believe it is possible, but organization-wise and planning-wise, objectives-wise, we're planning for June 2030. That's one. So no mention of 2029 anymore. And second is, this is real astronaut training. It's not just analog astronauts mission. So I have to explain then why and what. So our major ambition are two things. And now that we are presenting our CDR for the spaceship, I can tell you that there's lunar mining, our major ambition, objective, not ambition, objective. That's one. And second is asteroid mining, near Earth asteroid mining. So anyone who wants to do asteroid mining in the asteroid belt, I don't think that's gonna be happening in the near future. Near Earth asteroid mining, as a matter of fact, former NASA administrator Dan Golden gave a presentation about exactly this topic in Orlando here a few weeks ago at the Economist Space Economy Summit, and I was in the audience. But no one can do near-Earth asteroid mining with the present technologies. Cannot happen. And if it would happen, it would be small scale. Our spaceship is built for that particular mission. So we'll have two versions. One is for transportation, and another version is for asteroid tug. So it is going to be a tug version that then captures an asteroid and then brings it to the lunar surface or some other orbit that we can mine it. Now, one thing is important to understand for everyone in this whole industry. If you want to do anything in space and or on the moon, let alone on Mars, you cannot rely on robots, autonomous or remote controlled. You cannot rely on robotic operations, let alone at an industrial scale. You need human beings who know how to handle everything that an AI robot cannot. So when they break down, will another robot break it, or do you take the loss, which is tens of millions of dollars per robot, right? You cannot. So you need human beings. You don't need only 2 human beings or 5 or 10. You need hundreds, if not thousands of experts that are trained, that are real astronauts, but not the NASA kind of astronauts. They are scientists, or they are on a scientific mission, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Of course, they have the engineering capabilities. Our astronaut candidates are going to be trained from a few months from now onward, forever onward, in their special missions and objectives, including lunar activities, including asteroid mining. So you need trained people. Now, who will those people be? And when will you train them?
Yeah, definitely. I was just
This
going to
is
ask the
where we
next
come
question
in.
only. This was my next
And
question.
this is where we come in with what we call our astronaut candidate training. We have the brilliant Bill MacArthur, who is our chief astronaut. We have Marcus Pontes, who is our deputy chief astronaut. He is the first Brazilian astronaut that went to the space station. And we have many experts joining as ASCANs, as a matter of fact, and also as contract parties. We have major MOUs. We have major plans with other training facilities and so on. And it will be an ongoing process. But we have now almost 150 astronaut candidates that are going to start training, because you cannot build the economy with robots. Anyone who says so is full of shit. They don't know. They are fooling you, by the way, and they're investors, right? So there's so much going on. They call this a funding play. There's so much going on with a company starting this and a company starting that. Why? Because they know they can fool the investors, right? Because investors, they have the hope, they have the fear of missing out, FOMO, and they create a sense of urgency. You have to invest in us because we're going to solve this problem. Well, guess what? A lot of those companies will be bankrupt or rolled up and leave the industry within now in a year or maybe 2 years. It's a funding play. So you cannot do anything fully autonomous and robotic. Anyone who says so, I will ask them some questions that they will never be able to answer. It's so that's why people dislike me also, by the way, because I don't give a shit. I'll tell you. I don't care what happens with, man. I have had those clowns also, right? So you need not only beautiful spreadsheets and slides or a goal. No, you need to know what you're doing. Has any one of them published a CDR of how are we going to build this thing to do that? Critical design review. We are publishing it for the public. We just published 2-3 weeks ago of our space stations, where the world says, how the hell are you, Neal, and your silly group at Titans gonna build not one, but two, not small, but huge space stations? And it's true. It's their right to ask us. And guess what we did? We published this critical design review. Everyone can read it. It's available on the internet. When you go to my LinkedIn account, you see view my newsletter, click on it. It's the last one that we published in 3 volumes, 130 pages, where your questions will be answered. And even questions that you don't know of because you are not an expert. I'm not talking about you, but the public in general. They cannot even think of those questions that we have answered with the CDR. And now we're doing the same with the spaceship, because every Tom, Dick, and Harry can say, oh, we're going to build a spaceship. That's great. Beautiful. Great idea. We love spaceships. But how then? Well, that's what we are publishing now in the next few days. So everything that we're doing is with an objective in mind. We're not bullshitting. We're not wasting our times. Man, I'm 55. I hope I'm at the half of my life, but I'm not going to waste any hour, let alone months, let alone years of my life on bullshit. This is the future of space transportation. There's nothing more powerful for space transportation than this solution. As I said, otherwise I've been working on it.
Really nice. By the way, it's just gonna be one of the remarkable steps by anyone, because if these things are just going to be happening in 2030, so till then, I don't think any space agency are thinking of like targeting to mining the asteroids even. Till
Well,
now,
they may. But look, Jitendra, I'm going to tell you something about me personally. I've done some crazy stuff in my life. I have some credentials. I am proud that I helped pioneer not one, but multiple, if not industries, then markets. This is the most consequential investment and work I've ever done. I decided a long time ago that I will only work on things that I find fun, but also that are legendary. So in 1,000 years, people will still use this infrastructure. Why? Because there is no change in physics over the next 1,000 years. For example, you will still need a thermal protection system if you want to come back to Earth, right? If you want to escape Earth, how will you do that? So Earth's atmosphere. So this is why a multi-stage approach is being followed right now with the rockets. That's why we're saying instead of multi-stages, you will have multiple vehicles that do their part in their particular regimes. LEO, Earth surface, sea level, atmosphere, space, lunar orbit, lunar surface, different vehicles. But 1,000 years from now, you will not have a vehicle. Well, I don't know for sure, but you will not have a vehicle that takes off from Earth's surface and then goes all the way and then goes to the lunar surface. I don't think that ever happening because of the physics, right? Even if you invent a new kind of a rocket engine, you may not work on the same vehicle because you still have to have Earth re-entry. You have to go through the whole re-entry phase. It's the most critical thing, right? To arrive alive back on Earth, because when you go, you also want to go and come back, right? So I don't know, of course, 1,000, but what I know is in 1,000 years, they'll still use the infrastructure roadmap that we are building now. They won't be using rockets. Do you think, okay, a question for you, Jitendra, do you think people will keep on launching with rockets 20,
no, sir.
30, 40
Why?
years ago, let alone
Because as I told before as well, because this is gonna be very remarkable, and it's just going to be very remarkable things, because it's just going to make space more accessible for everything, not only the research, for the commercial one as well, and for the vehicle. So yeah, this gonna be.
Yeah, thank you. Well, as a matter of fact, we are working on what we say all inclusive, which means also children. Children should be part of spaceflight. And who will get children then on their spacecraft? How? So we have an entire group of 25, 28 people who are working on that solution, on that problem, right? Space health, right? There are so many space health experts. We have an entire group at Titans with, I think, 30, 40 people focusing on space health, right? And the future of space health. So we're working not only on a grand plan, but also on the solutions and on the whole ecosystem. So we think this is the this is the blueprint for anything that is about at scale, safe, reliable, and low cost. Jitendra?
Yeah, definitely, sir. After listening to your plans and the things, it's really just going to be. I would like to know one more thing, sir. If someone, like someone who just going to watch this video, maybe, and he just want to become an astronaut candidate for Titan space industry, what are the prerequisite he should be having, and how he can just apply for that, he or she?
So we have 1,000 plus, maybe 2,000 plus people who want to apply. And we are not opening the gates yet. What we did a few weeks ago, we launched the plan for what we call the Titan Space Academy. And we don't allow people to become askants anymore. If they are very qualified, if they have a background in space, if we think they are a great addition, then they join us as prospective astronaut candidate, not as astronaut candidate, prospective. A few weeks ago, if you go to my LinkedIn newsletter, you'll see a month ago, longer. So go down the articles. You'll see that we launched the Titan Space Academy for prospective astronaut candidates. That's an article. Click on it and you'll get the instructions. But a lot of people are just full of jokes, man.
Okay, so can you know, sir, like what are the
we ask
prerequisites
for,
you're just going to look out if someone wants to become an ASCAN?
so the prerequisites are in that article, but I can tell you about it. You have to have a master's degree.
Okay.
You have to have 5 years experience.
Yeah.
If not, in space, not in aerospace, but in space,
Yeah.
like spacecraft, satellite, and so on. Aerospace is not enough. So if you know stuff about aerospace, we're not impressed.
Okay.
That's one thing. But now we said, if you don't have those qualifications yet, if you're a teenager or in your early 20s, if you're still a student, we don't particularly say no to them either, but they have to then show us that they have a background. Maybe not 5 years of experience, maybe not even any, because they may be just starting their uni, right? So we say then, tell us who you are, tell us what your background in space-related activities, extracurriculum activities are, and then we'll see. And then once they reply or apply, we will ask them, send us a video about what you know about the Titan space plane. Tell us what you know about the Titan space stations. And now we're going to ask them, what do you know about the Titan spaceship? Because they will have to read the CDR. So those are some requisites now. On the other hand, we also want to welcome people. Once we get them to talk with me on an interview, it means they have been screened and that we're almost ready to let them in. So when I talk with people, it's not to eliminate them, but most likely to include them. Otherwise, we're most likely not talking. I don't have time for that. And because of lack of time, we do now group calls, because I don't have time anymore. We, as a company, we don't have time anymore for individual 1-hour calls. But yeah, we still have open, but a lot of people are full of jokes, and we see through it early. For example, if they cannot produce a video explaining us about what they know about the Titan space plane, or if we see they are reading about it, then we'll see. We are quite, and I also remove people. So once you are in, there's also no guarantee that you will remain, because I remove. I'm the manager of those groups, so I will remove you if you are inconsistent, if you are um, uh, if you are for some reason not contributing, and or we see that you are incompetent, I will remove you. Otherwise, we're friends. We're great. We have a beautiful camaraderie. We have a full support. We have so many groups. For example, on WhatsApp, where the communications is very fluid. We have a beautiful community. So this is one thing I want to watch out for, which is a toxic community and toxic environment. But yeah, because of our major plans in India, we are accepting a lot of Indians, right? But yeah, so, and I think the majority of Titan Space is Indian, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I've been looking at that. I just know those things. I was just doing the research and yeah, I just go through that. So yeah, these are the things. I just wanted to know about the prerequisite because I just got the three questions from the Reddit as well and the LinkedIn as well. So then I just thought to ask that question. So now I'll go ahead for the next part, which is the little bit going to be different because there are some people who are having the lots of queries regarding the flight and space industry, type of
Mhm.
controversies, sir. I would like to know from you on. So there are some people who just have thought like Titan Space doesn't have the FAA licensing, which is the Federal Aviation Administration licensing process. So how
Mhm.
they are just going to do the human space flight? This was the basically post on LinkedIn, basically
Yeah,
Reddit.
I know it, and we answered it so many times. But people, this is not a genuine question. Anyone who is knowledgeable knows that this is a shit staring question. First of all, we don't have anything flying right now. FAA comes in when you start testing hardware.
Like when the space plane just going to be tested, then you like Titan
Well,
just going to need that.
well, it's a good question, but I know it has been asked so many times and we answered it 1,000 times. So when you continue that question, when you Google it, you should find the answer also. But people
Mhm.
are either anyway. So next year, well, in the next few months, even because we're at the end of this year, in 2026, we are investing a lot of money in two subscale demonstrator space planes. One is for the subsonic regime, which will be 1/20th scale. So it will have a 15-foot wingspan. And then there will be an hypersonic suborbital space plane, test space plane, which is going to be 1/10 of scale. So at that moment, when we start the hardware, the integration, and the testing regime, then FAA gets involved.
Okay, so
So
completely
anyone
it's
who
fine.
says, "Oh, you don't have an FAA license," man, we won't have an FAA license until we have testing done, that the plane goes up. You don't get a test FAA license. Oh, you have built a space plane, here you have it. No, you have to go through the testing phase. Then you have to have a testing license and your regime. Then only when you pass all those tests and their certification and their certification.
Yeah, certification.
Then only testing certification. Then only can you get an operational license.
Okay.
And then only can you get a commercial license. Okay. So anyone who, by the way, those are clowns who are asking it. They are not FAA people asking it. Oh, Titan Space, where is your FAA license? Because they know. But a clown sitting in his mother's basement who knows nothing is a hobbyist, not even working in the industry, is asking this kind of questions. Or some people who don't know anything about space planes. They may know everything about rockets, but they don't know shit about space planes. So how are you going to advise us or demand from us stuff that you don't know about? That is just coming up in your mind. Well, I can ask you shitty questions also that you don't know the answers to, right? But it's not relevant. So FAA issue is a non-issue. Of course, we will have to work with the FAA in due time. I'm at the office right now. What is the use of having the FAA at my office right now or having correspondence with FAA right now? It doesn't make sense. Okay, next one, Jitendra.
Yeah, by the way, I just wanted to include that, sir, because I just wanted to create these clips.
Oh,
So
great, great.
everyone
I
should
love it.
see. Everyone should get to know
Thank you.
your point of view as well.
Well, we agreed in at the front of this meeting interview before we started recording. I told you, don't ask me these questions now. Ask me during the live.
Yeah,
when we
I just wanted to include in the conversation only, sir.
it's great. I love it. I love to answer, but you know, it's something that's disingenuous. People are not really asking to know. Well, at least those who started this whole thing. And I know who they are, by the way. So, okay, go ahead. Next question.
Okay, I'm not going to ask who they are, sir, but yeah, it's okay. We could just go ahead. Please have water, sir, because it's been longer period, but we'll continue definitely. Thank you so much, sir, for the time. So yeah, this was the basically one of the like controversial question I just wanted to ask. And yeah, there are some people basically those are just criticizing and all. So yeah, I'll not just go for all those things. Uh,
Yeah, look,
yes, sir.
people can criticize whatever they want, right? A few things. One, when I die, I will leave a legacy. And it will be that I changed with my team, with my people, the trajectory of space flight, especially human space flight. I don't care too much about cargo, right? But human space flight is amazing. Change that and you change the world. How many people are working on that? That's my legacy, brother. That's one thing. Second is when people criticize, it's not from a genuine place. It's always envy. I'm not saying people are envious. Well, I am saying people are envious. People are full of shit often, right? They don't do anything in their life. They don't spend even time with their wife and kids and their family or take care of their parents, but they are criticizing me building space planes. Who the fuck are they, by the way? Excuse my French. What are their qualifications? Have they built a space plane that they say, oh, it was so difficult for us, so it will be impossible for Lachman and his friends? They have done nothing. They may have an engineering degree, but what does that qualify in terms of space planes? Did you spend 5 years of your life on space planes, spaceships? No, you didn't. So basically, we are not concerned with the opinion of sheep, right? So I want to make that clear. That's why sometimes I clap back, sometimes, but we ignore mostly. People have said in the beginning, a lot of those Afghans were being harassed also by people.
Yeah, yes.
And I said, well, suck it up because you're going to keep on having those people. Um, so, you know, when you are doing major things in life, you will always find critics, right? But it's up to us to keep on going. Everyone that's not going to benefit from your success is most likely not going to be your friend. Everyone who sees you at a distance doesn't want to support you. Why would they? It takes a different mindset to support people. It is very easy to hate. It's very easy to be kicking people when they are down. It takes a real advanced human being to say, hey, I love this idea. I want to support this. Or this guy has so much interest invested in this. Must be a reason. No, what they want to do is criticize. And then I say, who are you? What are your qualifications? And even if you are the NASA director in yesteryears, that doesn't qualify you to judge our progress. Remember this also for your own, right? People will always criticize. Maybe there are
Yeah,
people
100%.
criticizing you for starting a podcast. And that's something that you'll never get rid of. But anyway, okay, next question.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it was really nice. I just wanted to basically add these things so everyone could get answer from this particular video only. They could get to know about the Titan space industry. They should not just be having any doubt from now. Like they should be clear about all those things. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's yeah, and we are uh yeah,
Well, you can read our. We have 100 plus analysis, white papers, essays, all available on our website, which is now being reconstructed, updated, and on my newsletter on LinkedIn. 100 plus. So including CDR, critical design review. So you know, ask SpaceX for the Starship CDR. They will not give you, right? Because, hey, for example, the design is flawed. So everyone who is qualified, like I have done a lot of analysis, white papers. It's not just my opinion. It's a researched essay, white papers, analysis on my newsletter. So if I see something, I will back it up with facts, or at least educated guesses.
yeah, it was really good. I think the most of the thing I have been like asked. Uh, yeah, I have been asked like almost I have been got the basically lots of answers, whatever the questions I were having. Yeah, but I would like to ask few questions from my side as well, sir. If
Yeah.
someone like me, if someone just want to start any like a space industry, like how they could just do it? Like what's like if there is any young generational guy like any like 20 years guy who just from the India or any other part of the world who just watching this video, and if he just want to start his like own space industry type of business, how can they someone do that?
Well, there's one simple rule, right, in business. What problem are you offering the solution for? If there's no problem, are you working on a solution looking for a problem? That's the wrong thing, right? That's one. So the purpose. Second is you have to be really good at what you do. Because once it gets from passion, planning, hopes to real business, entrepreneur, and company planning level, then you have to start showing up. So if you want to build a business, man, I've made a lot of money when I was very young, but I also lost a lot of money. I went bankrupt twice, personally, in Holland. I'm a Dutch citizen, by the way. So you have to make sure that you know what you're doing and why and what. So yeah, I have been an entrepreneur since I was 18, and it's full of its ups and downs. So if you're married, so I'm not married, I don't have children, I can pack up my bags and go to wherever I want in the world and work. I don't have any major commitments, whether it is financial, whether it is with family or friends even. I am really a product of my work of all those years. So that is a choice I made, right? Nobody can stick with me, right? It's a choice I made. So, and I doubt if I were to have kids, and of life. I was married before with a Punjabi girl in Canada, Sikh Punjabi girl, Brana Dikuri. But that didn't work out because you must be a couple, a pair. And if you don't have the support of your other half, then yeah, you have a problem. So, but if you are determined, you can make everything work, even with a family. But yeah, my choice, for example, was, to go all out with my company. And I'm 55 now. I'm not getting younger, and I'm not even done yet, right? So, but of course, one thing will happen is that I will change the whole trajectory of humankind, right? When it comes to space transportation, space infrastructure, and maybe hopefully in the next 10 years, 15 years, with terawatts of power coming from space to Earth, which a lot of companies are now jumping in, but how will they build it, right? They don't have the launch infrastructure we have. So anyway, long story, but the entrepreneurship is not a hobby. A lot of people underestimate. They don't understand that it's a real commitment. Here is a guy, 55 years old. I don't even have a girlfriend at the moment. Why? Because I don't have time. Look at me. I'm a very vain guy. But look at me. I don't have time to shave. I'm at the office in Orlando downtown. I'm not at a resort somewhere here nearby. on Christmas Eve. It's freaking Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is Christmas. I'll be working here. It's all about sacrifices. If you think it's going to be a easy ride, well, good luck. I don't think so. So it's a commitment. And I think with the grade of importance, you'll have less and less and less time for anything else. Sorry to tell you. This is what Elon Musk said. Oh, I was sleeping on the floor, on the factory floor. And I believe him. And he says, I work double as hard because then I get double done. Guess what? He's right. I will not doubt it. I had beautiful offices in the World Trade Center in Rotterdam, 1997 till 2000. Beautiful. And guess what? I slept on the floor. I didn't go home, which was only a mile away. My younger brother, Anil, who's our vice COO and co-founder of this. I've been working with the guy since our small eatery in 1988. He also slept on the floor there because we were on a mission. So you give up stuff. You exchange one thing for the other. And now, look, because of the importance, you have to get there. Now, for example, there are people, of course, who are achieved. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they don't need to sleep on the floor anymore. They don't need to be at the office anymore. But I am just working on this day in, day out now because I have a mission, right? They already achieved everything. Of course, they are working on their vehicles and everything, but they have 1,000, 10,000, 15,000 people workforce. While I am working on it right now. So I am a bit behind, but I am most likely going to be the world's first multi-trillionaire. Not maybe the first trillionaire, that may be Elon Musk, but the first multi-trillionaire, that will be me. You know, that's not a wish for me. I'm working towards that. And it's not about the money, because I'm going to give it away anyway. I have a family office just launched. It will be effective January 1. So I have all my shares in the family office for philanthropy and so on. But yeah, that's my goal. It keeps me focused, right? It's not about the money, multi-trillion dollars. It's about the journey there and what I do to get there. So it's the fun part. So nobody should feel sad for me. But if you, as an entrepreneur, choose to go all, get the blessing from your wife or your other half, make sure that your children don't suffer from your wishes, your objectives. Yeah, but yeah, people think entrepreneurship is easy. Well, guess what? It's not. But yeah, go for it. If you think you can do something, try to be the best at it. Try to be a person who wants to solve things for humanity, and then the money will follow, right? Because there will be investors who share your vision and everything. But yeah, you know, I think if you are really dedicated, if you believe in yourself and you're persistent, then yes, I think anything can happen. Everything can be possible. Well, not everything. You know, I cannot be a ballerina. I cannot be a Formula One driver. But guess what? That's not my ambition, right? So, but for the rest, everything that you want in your capacity, I think is possible.
Yeah, I can relate that, sir. Like in the June only, I just started the provocation. And now I'm talking to you. It's really like it's like the dream for me. Like
Well, and you never know what you're gonna do next, right? So when you do something, when you are building something, and it may not work out even, guess what? It is an experience. There is this saying that says life takes the exam first and teaches the lesson afterwards, right?
yeah.
So you have to be prepared, and you have to gather all your experiences, because nothing, even my ex-wife, right? It's a lesson in life. My failures, I lost millions of dollars. Lesson. I earned a lot of money. Lesson. I had friends, lost and gained. All lessons. It's everything is a part of life, and it's gonna be evolved. Anything that you do, everything is a lesson for you in life. Nothing is wasted. Not 1 second of your life uh, is wasted. Even if you think you've wasted, guess what? You didn't. One way or the other, it comes back to benefit you. Even your losses, even your hardest losses. Uh, so I believe in it. I'm not very religious, but I believe in Vijay calls it, our COO, chief engineer, Vijay, Dr. Vijay, he calls it cosmic convergence. And that's a beautiful term, cosmic convergence, because I believe in things coming to me when it is the right time. And then when I was talking with him a long time ago, he said, Neal, that's cosmic convergence. And since then, I started using it.
Cosmic
But
convergence.
yeah, that's it. Cosmic convergence. I believe in it.
Okay. It's really nice. It's really nice, sir. Okay, sir. I would like to ask one more thing. If someone is going to watch this video till the end right now, what you would like to say them? If you have to say one more line for them.
I have a lot to say. If I have to say one line, if it's for an aspiring entrepreneur, go for it. But always remember, in Hindi they say, "Sau sonar ki ek lohar ki." It depends who you are and what you do. I am lohar, bam, 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 right? But it depends on who you are, what you are, your characteristics, your nature. That's one thing for people, for entrepreneurs. For human to human advice, and who am I to advise? Well, of course, I'm a 55-year-old guy. I have a gray beard, so I have a little bit of experience in life. So I would say, for me, it was about making a choice that I want to leave a legacy, that maybe people remember your name 1,000 years from now. What are you doing, not only for you, but for humanity? And it starts with your family. It starts with your brother and sister, your siblings. Are you lovingly? Are you being supportive? Your parents, are you supportive? If your parents dream of working on the internet or a laptop, did you try to teach them? Your grandparents? One of my biggest regrets is that I never taught my mother how to use a laptop, which she wanted. And I didn't have time. As a matter of fact, I lived abroad for most of our life, right? So, as a human being, you have to be loving, you have to be supporting. Don't criticize people, don't steer shit. Be a good human being, be a good sibling, be a good daughter or son, be a great grandson and granddaughter, and make people happy. This life is not about you. This is about what you are doing for humanity. I'm not talking about people you don't know 5,000 miles away. Start at home. It's so simple. It doesn't cost anything or not too much to take care of someone. Did you take your parents for a pizza recently? Or your grandmother, did you gift her something recently? You didn't, most likely. So, and I was making so much money, and I regret I didn't do enough for my mother. My mother raised us 9 kids. I'm number 8. My younger brother Anil is number 9.
Okay.
She raised us on her own. My father, beautiful guy, I love him, but he was a bastard towards my mother. He was a bad guy towards my mother. Towards us kids, he was amazing. I can't believe I could have had a better father, but they divorced. My mother raised us, and I didn't do enough for her. And she passed away. My father passed away in 2010, and my mother, and while they were divorced, she passed away 2 years later. And man, you don't want to. Let me explain very briefly, and then I'll stop. I used to live. I said I lived in Canada with my wife, right? I was married with a Canadian Punjabi girl. My mom used to call me, and it's my nature. It's for a reason, but it's in my nature. I want to hang up even before you rang me, right? So my mother used to call me, and I would talk with her, let's say 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and I was ready to leave and hang up, right? But guess what? What would I give for me to talk with my mother? So, man, you regret so much stuff. You will regret so much stuff. So make sure that you don't regret anything. Life is to be loved and shared. Epicurus said, the purpose of life, well, religious people will say, of course, it's to worship God, but that aside, purpose of life is to celebrate it with your family and friends. Big ensembles, big table gatherings. Do that as much as often. Friendship, family, love, and support. That's the most important thing. You don't want to die tomorrow and have regretted all the days before. You have to die with, as the saying goes, you have to roll into and skid into your grave and say, that was a party. Of course, Hindus may not want to be buried, but that was by figure of speech. But you have to live life. You have to, we don't understand, but each second that you invest in something is a second that you will never get back, right? I don't have much time. I wanted to talk with you because you're doing great things. You are inspiring, Jitendra Jadhav, you are inspiring people. That's why I wanted to talk with you. And people who listen to this will maybe get something out of this. So I'm not wasting my time with you. You have to be careful with whom and what and where and when and why you are spending time. Time is something you will never get back. And don't be an asshole. People say I'm an asshole, and I can be, because especially if you are an asshole to me. But you will ask askance. You will ask, hey man, I work now with people I've been working with for 30 years, 25 years, 15 years. That's integrity, and that's being a nice person that people want to be around. So a lot of people say Neal is an asshole, but yeah, I can be if you are an asshole. But I have a don't be an asshole rule, right? But yeah, life is shitty at times, but try to make everything out of it. That's my life lesson, by the way. Did I rant too much?
No, 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 it's okay, sir. It's completely fine. By the way, it was really amazing. Yeah, whatever every single word of you is really valuable. And yeah, if anyone just going to watch this video, it's just going to be very helpful for them in every way, not only the entrepreneurship, in just life as well. And like your journey is really good, sir. Like when I was just asking to Gemini, let me just tell you a few things. When I was just asking to Gemini about you, and it was just mentioning about the telecom thing. Then I just thought like, what did I miss now, right now? Like I was just too much prepared for the Titan now. Now, what is this new thing, then telecom thing? Then I just go through the internet again and then just got to know about those things as well. So yeah, your
Mhm.
life is really inspiring, and the people who just going to watch it, it's really going to be amazing. And yeah, thank you so
Thank
much, sir, for joining.
Thank you,
Um,
Jitendra.
thank you so much for your time because yeah, this was really one of the big conversation with someone. And yeah, thank you so much for your time, sir. I'm
Thank
really
you. Thanks, Jitendra. Much appreciated. Talk
yeah, I
soon.
hope you also enjoyed, sir.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm looking forward to the recording. Thank you so much, Jitendra.